Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Mitch with Wilderness Games. So last time I was at Freeplay, I played a pretty rare game. It's called Discs of Tron. Now, a little backstory on Discs of Tron is that apparently it was supposed to be in Tron, the first game, but due to hardware limitations on Tron, they put it on the shelf, and then they built a whole new game and hardware to be able to play this one mode. It's one mini game within Tron, because Tron has, you know, a bunch of different mini games. There's like the light cycle game, the tank game. There's like the tower, revolving tower, shooting game, the spiders, whatever it is. A bunch of different kind of things, right? So this was one of those smaller modes. This mode is insane. Discs of Tron is a separate game, and so I got a chance to play it. I don't really like the first Tron, like, kind of at all. I'm not really a big fan of it. Discs of Tron is amazing, in my opinion. I could not believe how cool this game was. I didn't get too far into it. I probably played like 10 stages, 8 stages, something like that. I believe it gets even cooler as time goes on with my research. It gets even more 3D with up and down shooting and stuff. So basically, Discs of Tron, you're throwing discs at your opponent on the opposite side. And I think you play Tron, and that's what's it's like the evil, well, I saw the Tron movie, like the remake anyways, and it's like the creator, the guy who played the dude with the beard, right, the dude in the other movies, he is like the creator of this world, and there's like a if I remember right, there's like a evil version of him, like a doppelganger. I think that's the deal, and he's running like the world within the game. I don't know if the game follows that at all, but it seems to be he's the one throwing discs at you, and you're throwing discs back. I don't know. It's kind of like High but discs. Regardless, that gameplay is so cool. You can like there's like a roller, and it's like geometry, man. There's like walls. You bounce off. They ricochet. It's kind of like the table air hockey. It's kind of like that, except it's like your character's running around, and these discs that you jump on, and you throw a disc around, and so you can throw like a couple at a time, like 3 of them, and he dodges, so you have to like anticipate, but then try to get him on a double bounce. And so it has like a Tron joystick, which is cool. And so the trigger, you throw discs, and also there's a deflect button, so if you're gonna get hit, you can like do like an energy bar and bounce it back, which is pretty cool. Also, if your disc hit in the air, they fragment into 2 pieces, so you have to watch out for the pieces too. Then he has like a homing kind of deal once that you can't deflect or anything. I'm not sure if you can hit it. I think maybe you can hit it with a disc to break it. The game is sick though, I'm telling you. And after you play for like whatever 4 rounds or something, then like ice blocks get created in the middle. You have to bounce around instead of going straight at him. Multiple platforms, not just 1, 2, or 3. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I was like blown away at the gameplay. I could not believe it. And like when he hits you, he laughs at you and stuff, which is voice. Like it has voice, which I think is called like the squawk box or so, the squawk board. I think it might be the first ever like voice in an arcade game. Now Jay, the owner of Freeplay, was talking about it, explaining it to me a little bit, and that cabinet, he has the environmental cabinet. The environmental cabinet is kind of like the cockpit, right? Like the sit-down version of Star Wars, or for pole position, things like that. Except instead of sitting down, there is a little shelf you can kind of put your butt on, kind of lean on in the back. But you stand up, and it's an environmental cabinet. You walk inside this like big metal box, and the screen's in front of you, and you're doing your thing, and there's lights and sound. The sound is incredible. Actually, the arcade like disappears, and seriously, like you go in there. Even when I was like talking to my wife the other day while we were in Freeplay, it was like, you know, a lot of music and sound and whatever. We're just trying to have a conversation, and I just got finished playing Tron. She like leaned in, and we're talking inside that like booth, and it was like the arcade just like died down. So it's really like an experience, you know, it really is. And I imagine that you know, if you wanted to take it to the next level, I don't know if it ever had it or not, but if you had curtains, you know, you'd be like, bam, locked in. But I think it has like 9 fluorescent bulbs. I think half of those, maybe 4, are like black lights. You know how Tron has the black lights sometimes? Well, it should every time. This has like 4 of them, I think. It's absolutely mind-boggling. This environmental cabinet is like off the hook. It's like a $10,000 cabinet, like unobtainium. It's like so rare that it's astounding. The environmental, just like, you don't find it, like you hear about it. You know, it's like, oh, I heard about one of those. Like, dude, I was in one. Jay has one. Now, what's crazy about this too is that not only is it like unobtainium, like you cannot find this cabinet, but it's 700 pounds. 700 pounds. So to own this cabinet, you have to really want this cabinet. You have to be very passionate about arcade collecting. You have to be very serious. This is not a whim thing. This is not, I just fell into a Discs of Tron environmental lucky day. No, no, no. 700 pounds, dude. You can't just call up like 1 or 2 buddies. You guys aren't lifting 300 pounds or whatever, 250 pounds each, right? You and a whole bunch of other, 3 other buddies. Like, that's heavy. That's like really heavy. It's like forklift heavy, right? So it's not something that you can just grab on a whim. It just doesn't happen. So this game, this particular game, is not only like unobtainium, super rare, super expensive, cannot find it, but to even handle it, you gotta mean business. And you have to have a lot of will, and you have to have a lot of drive and energy and passion and be willing to do it. Like, you can't just buy it and put it in your house, like no big deal. It's like a process, you know, like you gotta plan some stuff and figure out. It's probably like a whole day thing, right? So, you know, it's like you get a moving truck with the hydraulic lift. Like you can't mess around. So yeah, very, very impressive 700-pound Discs of Tron environmental cabinet. And what's really cool is that the back of the cabinet has like Tron holding up like a disc, and like the lights, the artwork. The artwork is insane on this game. Everything about this cabinet is insane. About the gameplay is insane. It's the game is just off the hook. And the artwork in the back, the disc is like a hologram. It's like, do you know those little plastic like Fox 3D thing with the angles built in, multiple pictures, and like you turn it and you can see like animation or movement kind of thing. Or you can see something that looks like it's 3D standing off of it, right? It's like just come in like cereal boxes and stuff, like when we were kids in the 90s or whatever, in the late 80s and stuff. The back picture is like that. The disc is like floating in the picture. It's like floating. It's like 3D. It's wild. It's so wild. I can't believe Jay has this cabinet, and really even cooler than that, I can't believe the game is that cool. It takes place in like a 3D room, and you're going up against a guy who's very cunning. He laughs at you when he messes up and asks if you've had enough. Like, you feel like you're really playing against like an opponent. It's not just like in Galaga with the little things flying around. You just blow them up and, you know, call it a day. Like the AI is really good, and I was really blown away on every level for this game. The cabinet, the gameplay, everything. I literally played it for the first time and was just like mind blown. I just couldn't believe how cool the game was. If I can ever get a Discs of Tron, I will totally get a Discs of Tron. Just the upright. They also made an upright. However, I saw online that I believe the squawk board, which allows the enemy to laugh at you and talk to you and taunt you throughout the match and stuff, which like totally makes it like the game. It's so cool. I think that wasn't in the upright, but I think on Wiki or on Clav or somewhere I read that some of the uprights have them, so maybe they were converted later on by collectors, whatever. I would totally do that. If I could get a Discs of Tron upright, I would. And if it didn't have the squawk board, I would modify it so it did, if that's possible. I mean, it seemed to be possible. I would totally do that because I need to have that experience again. Carrying around a 700-pound immersive environmental cabinet booth, I would love that, but I don't think I'm that hardcore yet, because that's like you can't even put that in like in your basement or your house. Like that's like roll it into your garage off of a truck on a pallet or something, you know, and like drop it. That's like crazy talk. So yeah, pretty intense cabinet on the rarity factor, the gameplay factor, the cool factor, unobtainium, just nuts. Alright, so we're gonna go play the environmental cabinet at Discs of Tron. I'm sorry, at Freeplay of Discs of Tron that Jay owns. Oh my god. Check this cabinet out. Let's go get it done.
Master control program has chosen you to serve on the game grid. master control program has chosen you to serve on the game grid.
Got him. Ooh, I got him up wall hits, see that? Yeah.
You'll regret this.
This is awesome. Wow, I had no idea how cool this game was. Whoa, what's that? Did like some crazy combo move. Again, 7 deflects.
Greetings.
Oh crap, I wasn't paying attention. He's good on the deflections.
Having not
He's real good on the deflections. Discs of Tron is epic.